Hello, I'm Jan from the Crafty Therapist. Thank you for joining me. Today I want to show you a beading method that I've been using on my new pattern. This is the Spring Blossom necklace, and as you can see I have combined some beading with crochet. So we have a pretty flower as the centrepiece, and I have used a crochet method to join some chains and then some beads, some more chains, beads, and then chains for the rest of the necklace. It's a really simple way to make a necklace, and you'll make it really quickly too, but the beading can be a little bit difficult if you haven't done it before, so I want to show you how to do it so you can get this beading in lovely and close to your work. Otherwise you could end up with some big gaps. So I just wanted to pop on today just to show you. Okay. Now the yarn I'm using today is hooked eucalypts. I've used it on my pattern and also the matching bracelet. You might want to have a little look at this. This is the Spring Blossom Bracelet, and I have used exactly the same yarn, but I haven't done any knotting on the beads. This is a really straightforward pattern, and it's also free on my website. I'll pop the links in at the end for you. I'd like to talk a little bit about the yarn. This yarn is lovely and silky soft. I've used two colours, and they make they're lovely colours for spring. They're beautifully soft, and this, as I said, this is made from eucalyptus, and so it's a lovely sustainable yarn, a plant-based yarn, but it's so silky soft, it's really lovely to have against your skin. So I've been using that, but you can use cotton instead, or whatever else you have in your stash. You don't have to use this yarn. So to practice the beads, I recommend just using a scrap piece of yarn to start with, just so you can practice using the knotting method that I'm talking about. Now this is what I've done. All you do is do a little knot in between, and it just holds these beads nicely in place, and you're going to use that on the pattern if you want to make the flower necklace. Okay, so I've just added on another bead, and what I'm going to do is I'll show you how to do the knotting. So the key thing with the knotting is keeping control of the bottom loop. So when we're making this loop, we're going to hold it against the bead, and you bring through the loop as you would normally do to make a knot, but you're going to keep hold of this bottom loop here as you gently tighten the knot, and just gently, you can see I'm just holding it on the bead, and we just gently tighten it, and I'm going to use these two, my thumb and my finger on this hand, just to nudge it as I tighten it. I'm still keeping control of it, and then I'll tighten up. And you find it's actually pretty close. That shows you the method. I'll do one more time just to show you. So we've popped on the bead, pop on another bead, and then we'll tie a knot. You can use this method just to make a necklace with all beads. It's quite nice to have them knotted, because if they break when they're pulled, they won't all go flying everywhere. So knotting is actually quite a useful technique, especially if you're making children's jewellery, or if you want your children to make them, you can help them with knotting the beads in place. Okay, so we're doing the same thing. I'm just holding this lower loop in place, and I'm gently pulling and tightening until we get it onto the bead, and then tighten up so you get it nice and close in there. Okay. Now the other technique that we use in the necklace is to chain after you've placed the beads. That might be a new thing to you as well. So we would start our chaining with a slip knot. So I'll just do this to start with, and we'll do a starting chain 3 just to get it started, and then we will do some beads on top so you can see how it's done. So I'm just chaining 3, and then we're going to pull through the yarn like so, and we'll make a knot on the top just the same as we've done with the beads, and you hold the lower loop on that top chain that you've just made. We're just going to make a wee knot here, exactly the same. Now you want to make sure you keep that lower loop under control, and just very slowly and gradually tighten it up so that it doesn't jump up the yarn. I don't want it to jump up the yarn too far. There we go. So it's sitting just on top there. Okay, and now we can add the beads. So I've added 3 beads here. That's 3 that I use in the pattern. You don't have to use 3 if you want to make it. You can use whatever beads that you have. It will make a slightly difference to the overall finished length, but it won't make very much. So you can use whatever you have as long as it fits on your yarn. You may need to use a beading needle. Okay, so I haven't needed to use a beading needle with these. I've just used an ordinary darning needle. The beads I've used have quite a large hole. Okay, so we would do exactly the same thing. We're just going to do that knot on top of the bead like I showed you. So I'm going to keep hold of this bottom loop when I bring it through. There's my bottom loop starting. I'm going to hold it and I'm going to bring this through here. And I'm going to start just gently tightening it up. There we go, and there we have a knot on the top, like so. Now what we're going to do is we're going to do a slip knot and now crochet on top. So we're going to do another chain 3. This is what I do in the pattern. It is explained in the pattern, but I just wanted to do a little supplementary video to show you how to do it, because sometimes it's really helpful to be shown. So I'm just making a wee slip knot exactly the same way. You have to hold that bottom loop. Now what I'm doing here is I'll just show you. I'm holding it on that knot, look, and I'm just going to tighten it while I'm holding it with my thumb. Otherwise what happens is it will jump up and it will go up the yarn a bit, and then you'll have a gap, and we don't want that. So I've tightened it there. You're pulling this side to tighten it so that it doesn't move, and I'll just reduce the size of our slip knot. There we go, so that I can do my chain 3. And it shouldn't move. Just tighten it up a wee bit more. There we go. Okay, so chain 3. Try to do it as evenly as we can. And then we're going to pull through again like we did the first time. Pull it through, and then we'll knot just the same as we did before. Again, I'm just going to hold it in place so that it doesn't escape. There we go, and I'm going to add the beads again. Okay, so I've got my next set of 3 beads on. I'm just going to knot them in place just like we did before. Make my knot. And there we go. So that's how you bead with crochet in between. So as I say, you could make a whole necklace just like this and not use the flower at all. You can make bracelets, you can do as many chains or as little number of chains as you like, or you could do a necklace or bracelet just using the knotted method that I showed you at the beginning. So have a little practice and practice with your beads, knotting them, and then if you like you can head over to my website. I'll just pop the link in there for you and you can have a go at my Spring Blossom necklace. As I say, it's a free pattern and it includes the beaded method on the website, and if you would like to do no beads at all, you can do all chains, and that's included in the PDF version, which is of course easy print and there's no adverts in that. So many people prefer to work from the PDF instead, so that's available. And of course I also mentioned my Spring Blossom Bracelet, and this is actually a simpler process. There's no knotting of the beads at all, so if you wanted to give that one a try, I'll pop the link there too. Okay, I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you have, please give it a like and subscribe, and I will be back to see you soon. Okay, thanks, bye.